Gangsta grills, you bastard!
Cover my tracks like butter, so where the bread be. I see beef is dead meat. Who that president? Yeah, me. No one scare me.
No, no. That's literally. I got laid off.
Is this the first time you've been laid off?
Yeah. It was my first like job in media, so like my first job and my first layoff in the same.
It gets better.
It gets easier.
Yeah, once you get to like 17th job, 17th layoff, you don't feel a thing. Like, yeah.
Have any of you guys been laid off? What's like who has the most layoffs here? Like out of you guys?
I think I'm the only person here who has been laid off. Besides
I've been laid off from 3 jobs in a row.
Oh, okay.
I've been asked to stop being involved in projects, but I don't know if that counts.
What does that mean? That sounds really sus.
It's not like through work, just like, side hustles. Like I've like, side hustles have gone down the drain for me. If that counts as being.
Can you please stop selling weed on Grindr?
Yeah, well, this is Nersey, the podcast where we talk about getting laid off from media. I'm Slava.
I'm Drew.
I'm Trey.
Today we're joined by writer, editor, content creator, podcast producer, Celtic fan, unfortunately, plug music explainer, now turned party promoter, Mano Sundaresan. Did I say that right?
I'll guide you through it. It's Mano Sundaresan.
Mano Sundaresan.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm fucking it up.
Mano, yeah. But thanks for having me, regardless of pronunciation issues.
Thank you for coming on. It's an honor to be joined by a media mogul such as yourself.
Media mogul? Wow, that's crazy. You guys are media moguls. We're in a circle of. This is a circle.
We're media. We're media stalwarts.
Media free agents ready to sign for the media veterans minimum.
Media mercenaries.
Yeah.
What's plug music?
Oh God, starting with the heavy hitters.
I just don't know, like, quickly though.
So Zaytoven, like Atlanta like trap music. I feel like it was just a bunch of kids who heard that shit, and then they also heard like Mario and video game music because they're like 26 to 30, like they're the Gen Z zillennial cuspers. So they heard the video game shit. They heard the Atlanta shit, and they were like, let's combine these. And they probably also heard like some Chicago like Sicko Mob and shit like that, and they combined all that and made plug.
Is it that one guy who kind of raps like Soulja Boy?
Wait, which one? Tisa Korean?
Yeah. Is that plug music?
I feel like he's probably made plug music. I wouldn't. That wasn't the person that came into my head. I was thinking like Cardi or old Cardi is plug music.
I'm too old for Playboy Cardi.
With that kind of attitude you are. I fucking love some Playboy Cardi, man. I play that shit in the wine shop and fucking people just walking very confused, but also stick around and buy shit. So like, there you go.
Drew, who's the rapper that you heard where you were like, I can't, like, was Cardi the breaking point, or was there somebody before that? Or
no, I just had never had any interest in listening to Playboy Cardi. I think the rapper that broke me was Tekashi 6ix9ine. That was just like, that was a bridge too far.
That was a crazy time.
He's just bad.
That
I feel.
was
I don't know. I that's just trash music. I don't know. I feel like Cardi, you could maybe like hear the you can like hear what's good about that. Like,
I love
there's
Cardi.
enough
Man.
critics who fuck with him.
He just feels like a combination of like Young Thug and 100 Gex, where it's just like, I don't know what the fuck to expect on this next thing.
I mean,
how do you guys think the music's gonna sound, the next album?
I think he might put out his magnum opus. I think this might be the one where he like finally gets that like, oh no, this is fine art,
Yeah, I'm bullish on it. I really didn't like Whole Lotta Red though.
Really?
Yeah.
Why didn't
it's
you
just
like it?
like too experimental for me. It's too much. I like Magnolia. That's like my favorite one. It's like ASMR music. I like when he goes beep beep beep.
I think like even for me personally, like Dial It and Self-Titled are the best ones. And then Whole Lotta Red was like the one where everybody was like trying to make it into like a big deal, which it is, but it's also like not his best music.
Well, that's never the good one.
A lot of times, like if you need to absorb the narrative going into the album to properly enjoy the album, then that means the album's not like very good, I think.
Slava, you're arguing against music journalism.
Well, like,
The pro music journalism podcast.
I was about to say, man.
well,
It's like, I don't want no fucking context, man. This is good or not. Yeah.
no, well, not context around like what they're talking about, but around like what's happening at the time. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Am I wrong?
So music criticism is dead, or it still matters? We're questioning whether or not it matters. How do we feel about the reactions to Utopia this week?
Honestly, I haven't heard a blockbuster album I could care less about.
I listened to the Drake part, and
I listened to the album. Like, Future sounds great on it, SZA sounds great on it, Beyonce, that was a cool thing that happened. Cardi was actually pretty fun on that, but yeah, it's like the whole thing with like a lot of HBO shows. There's a lot more like spectacle than substance over it. Like, I couldn't tell you shit about Travis Scott after listening to this album.
I mean, I don't think that we should be asking Travis Scott to be making an album about things. Like, I think, like, we say this, but like, imagine if Travis Scott made an album where every song was like about social justice. Like, no one would be happy.
I'd be kind of curious.
That should be. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
maybe just like his 444.
like, yo, Travis Scott talking about blowing up pipelines would be fucking sick.
Okay, well, that's different.
Let's be real.
No, Travis Scott should be making songs about blowing up pipelines. Like the movie How to Blow Up a Pipeline.
If you bomb an abortion clinic, I'm gonna bomb your house. Like, yeah, like that'd be so fucking sick. Yeah.
I mean, that's cool, but that's like, you know, I'm just imagining like Travis Scott like suddenly deciding, okay, I'm gonna make a coup album.
Like a January 6th album?
We got to get Joe Biden the fuck up out of here. Like, yeah,
no. Like,
he'd be wrong, but he'd be interesting. Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about Forgiato Blow. I am talking about the coup, as in Boots Riley and Pam the Funkstress.
Oh, of course.
Oh, okay.
God, that took me a second as well. Yeah, I thought you were straight up talking about like a coup. Like, imagine if Travis Scott like led a coup,
close.
like, and or kids were just running to like the White House and like
rage to the White House.
2040, man.
Whatever the hell is playing.
Trap
Sicko mode. Like,
I mean,
they were literally going sicko mode. Like, yeah.
I mean, yeah. Well, no, I think that would be an appropriate thing for Travis Scott to do. Like bluntly rap about armed revolt. I think that would make me personally very happy. That actually would make me listen to Travis Scott more.
Yeah, it's like, it's not a bad album, but it's just kind of like watching fireworks, you know, where it's kind of like, oh, I'm having the time of my life, and then it's over, and it's like, I don't remember a single detail of that for real. I just like had my eyes wide open looking at bright stuff.
the first time I heard this album, I was like extremely stoned out of my mind and just lying in bed, and it was like pretty amazing. But then I just like woke up in the morning and clicked through the songs I thought I liked, and I was like, what was I thinking? Like, it was just a classic like, you don't smoke weed as a music critic when reviewing albums moment for me. I don't know.
On the other hand, I think that's also contingent upon whether the expectation of the listener is that they themselves will be stoned.
How many times do you guys like listen to an album before you form an opinion on it?
An opinion that I'll express out loud, probably like 2, 3, 4.
Skimming through about 3 songs.
I listen to the intro, I'm just like, this is ass.
I think for me it's like, it depends on the album. That's a boring answer, but like Travis Scott took like 2 listens. What's an actually good album from this year?
From this year, SZA.
JPEG Mafia, Danny Brown.
Oh yeah, Scaring the Hose.
I'm not gonna lie, I still gotta spend. I saw JPEG Mafia do it live at Pitchfork Fest a couple weeks ago, and that made me like want to listen to it, but I hadn't really heard it until that point.
It is
probably
by
my favorite
far
rap album of the year.
Yeah, it's by far the best record of the year to me.
Like all genres.
Yeah, it's also like one of the only albums I've listened to this year. It's like that and Jason Isbell and 100
y'all boys heard this new Carly Rae album that dropped on Friday?
No.
Slava won't even look at me when he says no.
Trying to find out what came out this year. All I see is Pressa.
And we introduce ourselves as music critics.
I'm a podcast critic now.
I mean, I write one review for Pitchfork a year. Like, I got, as long as I'm up on like that one thing.
That's the real utopia. Is everybody just gets one Pitchfork review a year. Everybody.
Yeah. That's like one of the proposals for changing Congress is just like have Congress be selected by lot, where it's like no elections. It's just like a true random representative.
We just pick a guy. We just pick a guy. We do a lottery.
Exactly. Yes.
We do the draft, and it's like, oh, I don't want to do this, man. Tell them to have like shin splints. Oh, yeah.
But that's the thing is you do in that same fashion, you do find some of the most amazing like music criticism. Just some random guy on Twitter has like a really good opinion about one song, and now you can see that.
I feel like YouTube comments might be some of the best. Like not even like not maybe not music criticism, but just like like bars, just like
Vibe encapsulation.
Yeah, I wish I had thought of that line. I could use that in like a review. Maybe sometimes I do. Maybe I sometimes steal from YouTube comments, but like it's just like, especially on like not even like new stuff, like old like disco and stuff like that. They'll just have like the most bountiful like comment sections, just full of like damn near personal essays, stuff that would like with a good edit could get published somewhere. I don't know.
Oh, okay. One album. It might be a little too weird to be album of the year, but did I tell y'all about Old Time Hockey yet?
Old Time Hockey?
Hockey. HAWKEY. But yeah, it's this dude who found his grandpa's old journals, and he just reads entries over like ambient nature noise.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fucking sick.
Actually, you know what else is really good from this year? Do y'all know Torn Hawk?
No.
He's on Lies, like LIES, the techno label, but he just put out this year an album of like motivational speeches that is him ranting about like how you should do what you want and not what the Ramada Inn tells you to do. Over like
right. Over instrumentals, right? This is an acapella.
No. Over like very chill synth music.
Is this a manifesto or is this like an album?
It's an album. It's like a goof one-off thing. Like he has this character that is a motivational speaker who is like sort of a mid to low tier hotel convention center style guy. And he made an entire album as this character doing his motivational speeches. And they're just really fucking funny. And he talks in this very thick, like Jersey blue collar accent.
Drew, you should check out DJ Lucas. I found him on TikTok. He's from that state I can't pronounce, where Boston is.
Western Mass.
Oh yeah, try to pronounce it, Slava.
Massachusetts?
Really?
Yeah.
Massachusetts.
There's
Yes,
Massachusetts.
no way.
DJ Lucas has been around since like we were young and cool.
Oh, he's old?
Dark World, yeah.
Yeah.
He's on TikTok.
He's like he's like closer to 30.
Damn.
He's not like old. I feel like he's like he's been like rapping for a while, but he like really got good as a rapper in the last like 2 or 3 years.
Okay, so it's like Matt Ox.
He's definitely like had multiple arcs. Like I remember when I was I went to college out in like Western Mass, and
Oh, where'd you go?
he would just like Williams College. It's like this tiny ass school, Western Mass, like Northwest bubble.
Did you ever go to Thurston Moore's like record store in the woods?
I don't think so. What's it called?
I don't know. It's just
Does it have a name?
it's the one record
that
store
a
in the
real-
woods
I-
that Thurston Moore's at.
What's the
I
first
don't think
album
so.
you bought?
Oh God, Fabulous from Nothing to Something. Probably.
That's good. That's cool.
amazing.
That's a good first album. Yeah, we've never talked about this one. What are y'all's first albums?
Nelly, Country Grammar.
Okay, all right.
That's a good one.
I think the first album that my parents gave me as a gift was Chuck Berry's The Great 28. And the first one I bought on my own was probably Millennium.
Trey, how about you?
All right, so the first albums I bought were myself. My dad was in like one of those Columbia like CD club things in the back of magazines where like every month you just got like 7 CDs for $20 or some shit.
Yep.
And so I signed up for the first month with some birthday money, and I got Getting Jiggy With It, the first Backstreet Boys album, and Puff Daddy and the Family No Way Out.
That's a solid
rotation.
representative sample of
Yeah.
like
It's
that era.
kind of like who I would become later on in life.
Bad boy.
Anyways, Nobels. What is it? Why is it called that? Why did you start it?
So 3 questions.
Yeah, let's first
Nobels.
introduction of what Nobels is.
It's a music blog. I started it actually just as like a Substack before I realized like nobody was like really opening their emails to read it, and also I didn't really like the design of the Substack. So that was like back in 2021 or so. So I just made it into a website. And then I kind of started it because I was like at the time like temping at NPR and like trying to, you know, write about music because I didn't really have like an outlet for that. Besides just like trying to freelance and not getting anything accepted. So I started that around then, and then through like the pandemic, a few people started to express interest in like writing for it. I guess the first pieces I was publishing were like ringing a lot of bells. Oh God, I did not. Anyways,
Oh, I get it.
people were like, "Oh shit, this person's writing about like." I did not. Okay, anyways, I did not intend to do that. There were people were like, "Oh, this person's like covered plug music. Nobody's done that," or like this person, you know, like a few other like weird niches of internet rap and shit like that. So basically, after that, I got a few contributors joining me, and like I would edit them, and somebody like expressed interest in designing, so that became a job on the team. And then yeah, it just kind of like became a little publication thing after that. I still like to call it, I kind of like blog though. I don't know, it's just like it's cute. I don't know, publication sounds kind of evil, so
Yeah, publication. I mean, whatever. Everything's a publication. Also, everything is a blog. It's a weblog of stuff.
yeah.
You said it grew during the pandemic, and you know, I think that people of our generation, we watched a lot of music blogs either die or pivot to some other shit or just get like way worse. And so it's really cool to be talking to you because your site is growing and is getting better. And like also like there are very few places to find good writing about music anymore. So like what do you attribute sort of your growth to, as well as like why are there so few people starting music blogs that are getting traction? Or are there? And maybe I'm just old. I don't know.
I think what set us apart initially was, like I said, just the subject matter. Like we were covering stuff that people definitely wanted to read about, but like didn't know where to read about it. And then at the same time, other people were like, did not know about the shit we were writing about, and we're like, huh, this is like really interesting, and we're very curious about it. Like I think a good example would be like the core coverage we did a couple months ago, which like I remember when the writer Kieran wrote about that stuff, Kieran Press Reynolds, half the people were like, oh my God, finally someone wrote about this. And the other half were like, what the hell is this? Like, this is crazy. And like, I feel like a lot of our articles like consistently are like hit that, like the middle of that Venn diagram, which like leads to them getting popular. And that's what led to a lot of growth in the past couple of years. As for why other blogs don't succeed, I mean, I think I've actually seen a few other blogs like doing pretty well, like at least the ones like in our orbit. Like this guy Andrew Matson, he runs the blog called Finals, which is like honestly what inspired our blog. Like I was just like, oh shit, like that's cool you're doing that during the pandemic, because he used to be like also a writer that used to write for a bunch of other places, and I was like, that's really dope that you're doing that, and covering very interesting things there. So I was like, might as well do it as well. I think he posts a bit less frequently than we do, but you know, he's had a lot of events and like tried to like actually create community around it in a way that's pretty inspiring for what we're doing. So I can't speak as much to like what other blogs are like not doing though, because I just feel like people are on way different wavelengths, if that makes sense.
Or I guess maybe what I'm asking is like, why aren't more people trying to do this? Or like, I look around and, you know, there are a few music substacks I follow, but they're all like individuals. And, you know, there are also a few like individual critics who I read. And I guess like,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think like music writing, and maybe not music writing, just writing in general in the past few years seems to have like turned towards this individualistic mindset of, I mean, I think literally these newsletter platforms like Substack and Ghost like encourage that, and for the people who are doing it and doing it well, like that's like good on them and stuff. Like I definitely read a few Substacks, but like I feel like at the same time it's like sort of push the focus away from community-based writing and like blogging. And there's a few places like we all know that are doing good work, like I mean, like shout out Hellgate and like a few of these other like, you know, worker-owned like kind of communal hubs for writing right now. But like, I don't know. I guess I didn't answer your question. I was just kind of describing a trend, but I don't know exactly why that turn happened.
Nah, I mean, like, it just sounds like one of those things you could just say capitalism, and it's like, yep.
I mean, yeah, like
That's exactly why. Yeah.
But the other thing too is like all these, there are cool things on like Instagram, but they're all like Instagram accounts pretty much. I don't know if you would call it a blog, like what you're doing with Nobels. Like Kids Take Over is like a really, really good platform with like really good aesthetic, and they do interviews in a really cool way where the artist sends voice notes. So like that's really cool, and you can learn a lot about an artist just by scrolling Instagram, but there's nothing beyond that. There's no like community like what you're talking about. They're not, you know, throwing parties like what you just did or are doing, you know? Where are people finding you? Are people going to the domain and like hitting nobels.blog and finding you that way? Or
yeah, I think what's cool about it is like it's a lot of, it seems to be actually a decent amount of word of mouth, especially since like I feel like a few of us relocated to New York. It's like been a lot of like just people finding out about us through like other people and stuff like that. Twitter is definitely where like our most, like if you look at the metrics, like the most shit goes up on there and gets the most readership through there. I'm trying to figure out a way to like also do like the newsletter thing, but I also don't really personally fuck with newsletters like that, so I don't know. Like I don't.
Yeah, I see you post about how much. I see you post about how much it sucks to like be a content creator, like to like feel like you're being sucked dry of like every single thing that you're doing. You have to commit it to writing to like let your fans know or let your supporters know how you're doing.
Oh, it's so annoying. Like, I think like a lot of platforms right now are just in this mindset of like showing all of their cards and like just being always like the BTS for everything. Like we need the BTS for this and this and this, and then like and I'm just a guy like you, and like you can do this too, and like I don't know, that's like cute, I guess, but like I think what made like I don't know, like I never really was like around for like the old like rap magazines and stuff, but like just like reading them like through like digitized versions and shit like that, like it's cool to see just how much they were just cooler. I don't know, they just have way more like they were mysterious. They were like weird people writing for these places. It was like not
Dude, there was like a certain thrill like towards like the last week of a month or the first week afterwards when like your bookstore or newsstand or whatever would have the new issue of Vibe or The Source, and you had no idea who the fuck was going to be on the cover.
Exactly.
You had no idea who was going to be on the cover. Yeah, but it was just like, oh, okay, yeah, Lil Wayne and Birdman, here we go. Yeah.
I mean, the labels knew who was going to be on the cover because they were.
I was like fucking 12 years old, not working at the label, so I didn't have any idea who was going to be on the cover. Yeah.
Platinum pieces and a platinum chain with the platinum watches and a platinum ring. Platinum all that.
At what point were you like? At what point do you feel like you became like a music nerd? And how did this express itself? Like, how were you finding music over which to be a nerd?
So I'd go to India in summers a little bit when I was like just growing up, and then in middle school a little bit, and also I'd go to the Bay Area a decent amount because like I have a lot of family in both these places. So I have this one older cousin who like I think made me like a music nerd. He basically we would be like hanging out in India and then also in the Bay a little bit, and like he would just be like, he had this PSP and he would just like be making me listen to like the most random, like it was just like I was like 12 or 13 and he was making me listen to like Young Jeezy's like first album and like Lil Wayne mixtapes and like.
Wait a second, how is Young Jeezy's first album random? I
don't know, like for me personally, like I had no context. I was not like, I had no friends who listened to this stuff like around me like at the time. Like they were listening to like, I mean I grew up in like suburban Massachusetts for context, so I had no friends listening to like Jeezy until he got like really popular probably. So
okay, that's like such a strange thing for me to hear because I grew up in the South when Jeezy was first hitting, and like so many kids at my school had like the fucking snowman tees, and they actually banned the snowman T-shirts.
I was gonna ask
at my school.
if they banned them at your school. Yeah, that was a
You
big
can't-
deal.
You
Yeah.
can't ban the snowman,
Can't do that.
and yet
And they did it. Yeah,
Wait, why'd they ban the snowman? Like, what's wrong with?
gang related shit that they use as the argument.
Oh.
Yeah.
yeah, I
There were
mean,
some places that weren't letting you wear white tees after them franchise boys put that song out.
oh yeah,
In my white tee. Yep. In my white tee. In my white tee. Yep.
It's
wait,
pretty
what's
insane.
yeet?
What's
Like the
yeet?
verb?
Yeet?
What's yeet? Oh,
What
you
is
are.
yeet? Like the
I'm
artist?
not even this. I'm older than you, and
I
I'm
can't
not
tell if
this
you're being
old.
ironic
I
right
just
now.
got out of jail and I know who Yeet is.
Oh,
I'm a leftist golf writer now. Like I'm not a
Talk
fucking.
about him heavy.
I'm actually a little bit surprised. I feel like you should know who Yeet
This
is.
is just due diligence, dude. Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, no, I think that I'm.
He's
think-
like the white young thug. Like, yeah, it's
he is a
He's like the white.
he is a white rapper from
it was like Oregon and Washington State or some shit like that.
right
Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
Oregon.
Lawless.
No, the only like Portland or Washington State rapper that I will acknowledge is AWAX.
Is somebody else gonna ask who the fuck AWAX
Yeah,
is?
absolutely not. I don't give a shit.
No, AWAX is so good.
Nah, bro.
Listen to his album Everlasting
Nah, I
Money.
can't do that.
All right,
If you
AWAX.
don't know who Yeet is, I don't know if I can trust your opinion.
Yeah.
Like,
Validated.
No, dude, I don't trust any of your opinions because y'all have never listened to AWAX, who like had a monomaniacal beef with Hustla.
I know who Hustle is.
Yeah, well, AWAX is the guy who fucking hates him. Or they're cool now, but he could have been much bigger.
What was going on there?
I don't know. You gotta ask Willie Staley.
Wait, why was AWAX beefing with Hustler? Isn't Hustler from like the Bay or from like?
Yeah.
I hope I didn't get that wrong.
Well,
yeah, somewhere.
AWAX is technically from Pittsburgh, but he spent his formative years in Walla Walla in jail. And
Okay.
so he claims both Pittsburgh, California, as well as Walla Walla.
Walla Walla, Australia?
How is he
I
from
was gonna say, is that
Pittsburgh,
in
California, but
Australia?
ended up in jail in Walla Walla?
I don't know. I'm not the keeper of the tale of AWAX, or I guess I am. And so it is a fair
mean, yeah, you
criticism
are in
that I
this
don't
case.
know.
If you do federal time, you have to go to Oklahoma, and then they assess you, and then they put you wherever they want. It doesn't matter where you like really are from.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I trust Slap on that.
Anyways, let's get back to you guys making fun of me for not knowing who Yeet is, not for making fun of me for knowing who AWAX is. All right.
Oh yeah, there was apparently a fateful night in Tacoma, Washington, consumed by gang warfare that would land him in Walla Walla State Prison for 5 years for manslaughter. At 16 years old, AWAX went from street thug to convict, and there was no turning back. That's from Last FM. Okay, so he probably wrote that himself.
Yeah.
I was about to say, like, this is wildly irresponsible journalism. No, that's just an artist biography.
He was for a time the connoisseur's choice of something, of like sing rapping. I'm telling you, Everlasting Money is an incredible album. Like, it's
So he was like the Pacific Northwest Kurt Cobain.
I was gonna say Kurt Cobain. That's crazy. You said Kurt Cobain.
yeah, but he preceded that. He was like a hyphy rapper and then sort of got into sing rap. But like he's got some records. Pulling Strings, great record.
All right, I'm gonna look him
Hey,
up.
Kurt Cobain's.
Yeah, he's actually
I'm about
good.
to listen to
And
this.
he's like accessible. He's very accessible as well. Yeah, it was like, or like he was kind of like for a while doing the. You remember when French Montana made that song Sanctuary?
Yeah, that's a good song.
So like Everlasting Money is an entire album that's kind of like Sanctuary.
Okay. Can I tell a Kurt Cobain story real quick?
That's
Please do.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was interviewing Rich Homie Quan, and we were doing like this video interview. So this bit is committed to video. You can look it up. And we were walking through this art gallery, and the artist said that he was inspired by Kurt Cobain's suicide letter. And Rich Homie Quan looks at me. He's like, suicide letter? And I'm like, no, Kurt Cobain, not Kurt Cobain's.
Oh man, Rich Homie Quan probably had a huge like adrenaline rush.
was like, oh no.
Thank God you were there
the
for Rich Homie
reference. That's crazy.
Quan.
So he was just thinking Kurt Cobain. He's like, oh, that's a sick name, not knowing that it's a play on Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know who Kurt Cobain was until I was in high school.
Really? So did you know who Kurt Cobain was first?
Nah, because that wasn't until like I was like in college.
True.
But yeah, it was somebody said something about, I was like, who's that? Every single white kid in the class like was infuriated immediately.
Get out.
They're like, how do you not know who that is? I'm just like, because what the fuck are you? Yeah. Yeah, it was like, yeah, y'all don't know who Pussy is.
Okay,
Get
but
off my dick. Like, yeah.
could Kurt Cobain make "Drank in My Cup" though? It's like I feel like
That's a great question. The answer is no.
I would want to hear it. Yo, now with AI, we can
Kurt
find out.
Cobain's like the entirety of Nevermind. Yeah, like it's yes, he could. It's not a hard album.
it's not.
I could have done
Drink in
that.
My Cup is probably at the tempo of like Something in the Way.
Man, now Drank in My Cup, we have to put that in here because that's such an iconic way to like start out. I don't know instruments really well. I don't know if you guys know like music theory or like what it is that makes it that noise, but that bow, wow. I guess a guitar based on what I'm doing with my hands.
Oh yeah.
I done came down, hold up.
When it had like the whammy thing on it or whatever.
Exactly. The Guitar Hero whammy bar. That's it. Yeah.
The whammy bar. Is that a real thing or
Yeah, like real guitars.
guitars
have
have
me
whammy
not being a
bars.
music critic
Yeah.
for a sec? That's crazy. Wow.
I mean, it doesn't have. It's not like if your guitar doesn't have a whammy bar on it, it's not a real guitar. It's not like it's just an oversized ukulele. But if you want to let the real heads know,
Stank on it. If you want to put some stank on it, yeah, you
Exactly,
screw that
yeah.
whammy bar in.
So I take that to mean that none of the people who are music journalists here, I guess, play musical instruments.
I had to play football to know
I play-
someone's good in that.
Just wanted to make sure.
all right,
Follow
let's go back to asking you.
I don't know.
Oh, you play piano?
Got it
Well,
right
you out
there.
here tickling the ivory? Dude?
Yeah,
Shit,
just
okay.
like
Oh shit, you have a piano
right,
in your
can
room.
you-
bored.
Can you write us a theme song?
Oh God, you're just making me do shit now.
Not like on the spot, but just in general.
What type beat?
You can say no.
What are we thinking? Like, what type beat?
Plug, obviously.
No, I want
Heartbeat.
a Chief Keef type beat.
Like what era of Chief Keef? Like a more like a self-produced Chief Keef song, like a Young Chop.
I guess I want the kind of beat that Chief Keef selected for the last song on Finally
Oh,
Rich
sicko.
when he typed in Chief Keef type beat on YouTube, found a beat he liked, and then bought the beat.
I did not know that, but that's I'll do my research. I'll
Okay.
I got you guys. I can't say how soon.
I
I
have,
don't know how to
like-
make beats, but I'll see what I can do.
This is a long-term ask.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It does suck to think that like we did stuff that didn't really matter. Like we wrote about that extensively, that sicko beat thing. Like that's just like common lore. And like it's lost to like history because that shit doesn't really get cataloged. Like that random trivia.
A few months ago, I interviewed Maddox's mom. Because I was
wow.
like, I saw this video of him like dancing. Like I don't know how I just like feel like I had this in my brain somewhere. I was like, I need to go find that video of Maddox dancing when he was like 7. So I looked that up and I found it, and then I like shared it on the Twitter account and went like super viral. And then I was like, I need to know how this happened, so I'm gonna interview Maddox's mom. And that whole time I was kind of thinking like, I feel like this is some shit like Noisy would do like back when shit didn't really matter, like 8 years ago or something. I don't know.
I want to hear more about the youth. How
I
do
want to hear less about
like?
the youth.
Well, I'm just interested in like how young people like are engaging with music now.
Just in general.
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't know anything about anything anymore. I'm just like a fucking husk of a man wanting to re-water my barren brain with fucking moisture of knowledge from the youth.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's like
All right.
that was an insane string of words. First of all, but, no, I think I think it was like I think for me personally, just I mean I think everybody, it's very dispersed, these methods of engaging with music, but like I think a lot about how like especially in the sound like the underground rap worlds, which is like what I'm like mostly looking at, like people like seem to like listen, like there's so much more like I guess like absurdity and meme shit happening, like I can't tell if like, and this is maybe where I feel like I'm too old to really understand some of this shit, 'cause it's like 15-16-year-olds, but it's like you guys are all like engaging with these Instagram accounts, like just posting like there's this artist like Summers or something, like this plug and B artist Summers, like, and when he drops an album, like some account, like Instagram account will be like, did Summers just drop like this generation's Whole Lotta Red or something? Like obviously like a totally ironic post, but like they'll do that for like every single like random album in the scene, and like people like engage with these artists in such like kind of like, I don't know, memey like unserious ways, even though they clearly care about them a lot. And that's like a weird tension that I think has like permeated a lot of music listening. Like everything's kind of like unserious, but also like I know everything about this artist and like who their mom is, and shit like that. Like it's just like it's really weird.
So people expect artists to be like fully open, in part so that they can just talk about them with extreme hyperbole.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure if the hyperbole is like real. It's just like exaggerated like funny shit just for the likes and stuff. That's like my abstract answer to your question. I feel like the literal answer is probably just like TikTok and whatever. But yeah.
I mean, I guess also I'm interested in like, you know, I think that to someone like me who is a bit more removed, I look at this stuff and I'm like, I wonder how the differences in technologies that young people like use today versus like when I was their age, like affects how we engage with music. And like, maybe the answer is not that much. Like, I don't know. You got to be my emissary to an entire generation. Go.
God.
Sorry.
What the wait, what did you even ask?
Wait, can I help him out a little bit? Because I kind of have a follow-up question. And like, do you find that a lot of the people that are making music now are like content creators, or they're like artists? And do you think they've had to adjust their output based on the platforms available to them?
Or are people trying to get popular, or are there people who are like, my goal is to put out like a 6-7 inch and like have sort of like a claim within my local scene?
I think like one thing I've noticed is definitely that like ideas of like subcultures I feel like just can't exist properly anymore. Or if they do exist, then they are very quickly like penetrated by some observer from like up above, whether that's an A&R
journalist
or
from
like,
Vice magazine.
I don't know. Yeah, journalists from Nobels, you know. I'm just kidding. Hopefully, I don't know. But like, I don't know. A good example would be like the hyperpop shit, right? Like that was like a big, like, and I feel like that's such a like I don't even know what that shit means anymore. But like the way in which like that scene, like or scene, like because internet scenes aren't really real. Like that thing was like this underground thing for like a hot second, and then very very quickly like became corporatized and like extracted for wealth, and like the scene became this like I guess what I'm trying to say is that like that is like the fault of like these of like the labels and of like people and of like the DSPs as well, but it's also I think created a mindset in a lot of artists of like I just need to blow up, like I just need to like go viral, like that's the only way to make it, because also it's like capitalism, there's like fewer ways to like make a living doing the shit. So yeah.
And then I mean, like, I don't know. It seems like a lot of younger people like it's like a lot of music exists like divorced of context or something. And that's not like a knock on them, because it's also like a like 18-year-old has access to like infinite music on the internet. And I think about like city pop, which is like a genre that I found out about completely from the internet the same time that it like blew up. But it seems like, I don't know, like that shit happens for like Kate Bush. Meanwhile, yeah. And it's not like a bad thing. It's just like an interesting thing.
Yeah. And I think the people who care will like still do their research and figure shit out. Like, I don't know. I feel like when Yeat, for instance, blew up, not to go back to that guy, but like when he blew up, he was divorced of context for like a lot of people, and still is for sure. But like the people who like kind of fueled his rise, I would say like are doing all that. Like, I'm not sure where you can always find the best journalism about him, but like there's like, it's like dispersed all across the internet in various like little pockets. Like you can find like one dude's like 75% accurate yeat documentary or like documentary about, like, you know what I mean? Like just like the origins of like his group that disbanded, and like how they all met in some Instagram group chat or whatever. And then you could find like, I don't know, like some TikTok that somebody else made about it. I don't know. It's just like, I feel like for how like little institutional like coverage there is of this shit, there's like definitely a lot of like DIY like archiving people are like trying to do, which isn't always isn't always easy to find, but like it's always people who are like really young too, and like just like doing clearly because they have nothing else to do and they're just kind of bored probably at home or something.
Where do you look for stuff? Like, where do you find stuff?
I feel like just like a mix of, I don't know, like like Twitter. I feel like I go to I'm on SoundCloud a lot these days. I think SoundCloud's like the worst designed app, but also like, and just like a janky ass app.
Yeah,
it seems to be getting worse by the year. But but it's also like, unfortunately, the like best place to discover music, I think. Like especially like some of this shit that's just not like rap, like not just like rap shit. Like I feel like a lot of like the you know like Brazilian funk shit's all on SoundCloud, and like a lot of like the like, I mean, dance music for sure still kind of pops off on there.
And that's because they don't want to upload to Spotify, so because like they can't for whatever reason, like they didn't clear the samples, or
that could be one reason. I think like more often it's just like people are like they just want to like drop, they make a song, they just want to drop it that night or whatever, and they just like do it. Like it's very like, I can't snap. It's very like
instant.
Nobody's thinking about like peak posting times and doing, you know, scheduling and analytics and all that kind of stuff. It's just like throwing it out into the world.
It's punk.
I bet there's some of that. I don't know. I feel like artists are usually just posting shit on there. One thing I have noticed, which I learned from talking to artists, but also just like from a person who used to work at SoundCloud, is that there's like an absurd amount of privated music on SoundCloud, like more than you could like maybe ever imagine. Like just like, and a lot of artists will like just like keep things like in the chamber, like on there for like months and months, and then like finally drop it or something, or like never drop it. Yeah, it's like, but it's like a lot more than I ever thought. I don't know. So that's interesting.
Well, because you can upload it and then just share the link privately, right? So it's like a 1-to-1. Interesting.
Yeah,
it is kind of dystopian that like this future, the best we can hope for is like a punk streaming app. Like, no, I have Spotify and Apple Music or like corporate, man, I only upload to SoundCloud.
Which is like not, I feel like that's such a lame, like, that's not punk at all. I don't know. It's like, okay, it's just like another Spotify or Apple Music. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess like for your generation, like punk and DIY and all that kind of stuff, like what does that kind of look like in the mainly internet era?
It's so weird. Like I feel like punk is just not real. I think we were talking about Whole Lotta Red, like that album, everybody was calling it like a punk album, and I was just like, the whole time I was just like, this is such a, that's a commercial rap album. Like this is such a like literally not. This is literally not punk. This is like the opposite of punk. Like it sounds sure, it sounds like daring maybe or whatever. If you've never heard this shit before, but like even the people who were like Cardi heads, like they were some of them were like this was kind of derivative when that came out. But anyways, to answer the question, I will say I feel like one thing that I saw recently that was very DIY was I was out in Milwaukee for a few days, like a few weeks ago, to like interview some artists out there and stuff, and I think their rap scene right now is like very emblematic of like DIY out of necessity because they have no infrastructure for this shit out there. But also because I think they've also avoided the gaze of like the internet for so long and of these like power structures, and like because of that they've actually now it's changing. Like there's definitely like industry interest in some of the artists out there, but
what do you want Nobels to grow into? Like, what do you want it to be? And like, yeah.
I'm still figuring that out. I'm not gonna lie. Here's like the God, I don't want to say elevator pitch. Like the thing, like the abstract thing of what Nobels is probably like something like encounters with like culture like before it happens, if that makes sense. Like, which is so it's a working thing. That's really corny, but like I think like the things that have popped out for us the most and have been like the most fun to edit and just like really like investigate have been things that are like just like weird like ephemera on the internet and like in music scenes that kind of has it's clearly not like yet invaded like everybody's timelines and not yet been like fully turned over, and then like it gets turned over a few months later or something, and then like everybody goes back and finds our shit about it from that's like the most fun to me. It's like that stuff. So I think I want to like keep at it with like just like these like scene reports, and like that's like the focus for me is like getting more stuff published in that vein. And then definitely like more like I want to add video to it, not pivot video. I want to add video to it because I like making videos. Yeah, and I have a friend who like does Nobels with me who's like very much in that. He's like a video person, so like we'd like shot a lot of footage in the Milwaukee scene, which we're like editing right now, which I think will be cool. And I think like that's another like prong. And then the final thing would definitely be like live events and stuff like that. So we got like we did our first show at the end of last year with like Arx, Poppy, and like a bunch of other guests, and then we're having like another one like this end of this week actually in Brooklyn. It's like pop star Benny, and who's like this kind of like rising Atlanta DJ and producer, and a couple other acts, but he's like somebody we've been covering for a while, so we were like we should do a show with him.
So it sounds like the main thing is like you're trying to build community, like you're actually trying to get people to come out and like meet other people, which is noble.
No, it's Nobels.
Yes.
I saw that.
But you guys you have the Discord, you have the online community. I like your Discord.
Oh, thanks. It's kind of dead right now. I feel like the people in there aren't really like, it's like a few writers for sure, but it's a lot of just like random like heads, which makes me happy. It's like you don't have to be a music writer. You can just like music a lot, Like you can just like be a botanist or something, and like also enjoy music.
If you're a botanist, you don't have the time to write about music, man. You're deep in the plants.
No, I'm not, it was. I mean, shout out to the botanists. Like I feel like they keep these spaces clean and green.
Shout out botanists.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. We need like really dedicated botanists, man. We're losing a lot of green space in a lot of places.
Hello, Dr. Green Thumb. Paging Dr. Green Thumb. Hello, my name is Dr. Green Thumb. Hello. I'd like to tell you just where I'm from. In the hills where the trees go wild with wheat fields. The fucking pigs with shields holding the blue steel. Greenhouse effect with the wheat connect.
Did you watch the congressional hearings about aliens?
Yeah, I watched like the one like 45-second clip that went viral, and then I just kind of like read tweets about it and just like pulled from my vat of knowledge about, which isn't that deep, about like aliens. I was like remembering random documentaries I saw and stuff, and being like,
What did you
Roswell.
What did you think about aliens before?
I had a feeling they were real. I don't know. Like I feel like it's like the go-to argument, but like it's just the universe is too vast, you know? Like there's like you really got to be a hopeless person if you think there isn't anything else out there, I feel.
Do you think we're fucked? Like humanity, like the fact that like we are advanced enough, like, you know, the book, The Three-Body Problem sort of, or the trilogy sort of advances this argument in a slightly different form. But the fact that we have become advanced enough as a civilization to potentially just have fucking aliens like underground living in a fucking secret zoo or some shit, like that probably means that we are about to be advanced enough to go to another planet. And if the history of like global powers on Earth teaches us anything, we're going to try to do some fucked up shit on another planet, which means the aliens are completely justified in taking us out before we can do it. Your reaction?
I mean, I think if the aliens want to take us, like, they should go for it. Like, I don't know, they can beat us. Like, they should just like, I want to see what they're made of, you know. Like, I'm not saying I'm gonna fight them, but I'm saying like, I feel like, you know, there's so many worse ways to go out than like aliens. I feel like
if we just told them like, yo, shoot me the fair one, and it was just like, you know, straight up, you know, street fight, no guns, no weapons or whatever. I think it'd be like pretty even on like if a human could be the alien.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Like if we,
well, what type of alien?
What if they're giant bugs?
Giant bugs would have come down here by now.
No, I'm talking about like 6 feet tall, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
He was like
be 7 feet tall.
Yeah, like number one.
I feel like just like a really big like ant spray could take that out though. Like just like the same, it's probably made of the same stuff. So
also, like if they're a bug, like they're not like, you could probably just punch through them. It'd be gross on your hands.
7 feet
but,
tall.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's got an exoskeleton. That would be the scariest thing to me. I would prefer like a big squishy.
I'd do it.
I prefer like to fight something bigger, squishy, or big and furry than like a big bug.
I think
But this is also like not the only kind of interpretation of aliens there's ever been in sci-fi or pop culture. Like there's so many different types.
That's
like the cone heads, man. You know, the cone heads. I would fuck up a cone head.
Yeah, for sure.
No, but I think the Coneheads would just want to fucking party. Like they would be going to the Nobel's show on Friday, which the listeners
I'd
should
welcome.
go to.
I need them to hear some
Plug music.
some.
Man, their heads
Playboy
would explode.
Cardi.
They're not used to those frequencies. Yeah, if you want to win the war, man, just send like an MP3 of a fucking Cardi song up to Mars, and like, yeah, those motherfuckers are done.
I feel like some Brazilian funk would kill them. I don't know. Just like the I don't know if you've heard that shit. The loudness is off. Is so that shit's like.
Oh yeah, that Timaya shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like the
makes the inside of my
like just
brain
like crazy
itch.
synths and like
Yeah.
it makes like my brain almost like explode. So I feel like it would probably like one hit KO.
You guys
Exoskeleton
haven't
above
seen
aliens.
what is that? Close Encounters, where the aliens are already far ahead of us on this music shit.
That was Rick Rubin.
Oh, one time I talked R.I.P. Dolph, but like, yeah, I talked to Dolph and Glock one time about different things that might be real, and then we started talking about aliens, and they talked about alien music.
What did they think about?
What did they say?
Yeah.
Oh, let me see if I can find this. But yeah, it was like one of those 3-part questions I used to do, where it was like which of these are real, like vampires, werewolves, or aliens, or some shit. And Glock said all of them.
Werewolves? He said
And
werewolves are real?
I was like, so you believe in all of them? And he was like, I don't believe in them, but they are real.
Damn.
And I was like, yo, that's so real.
Vampires, I can see people believing vampires. Werewolves, no.
I mean, like, I don't know. I think that vampire is fairly plausible, especially like in antiquity, in terms of like just a human trying to be super fucking intimidating. Like vampiric.
Oh, so like a fake vampire.
Okay,
Just like a dude
I
trying
found
to.
it. Hold on.
Yeah, like vampiric behavior is within the realm of human potential. Although becoming a fucking dog is also in the realm of human potential.
Yo, I saw that video.
Yeah, that's being a fucking werewolf right there.
That's not. I mean, okay, if you want to count that.
I don't think that's being a werewolf. That dude, that dog was the least intimidating thing.
Okay, it's like a were collie or whatever. But
When I
like,
saw the look in that dog's eyes.
No, because werewolf implies biological changes. He just put on a costume.
oh, did he? I thought he got like surgery
To fit in the costume.
No, he straight up put on a costume.
Yeah, it's not. It's not
okay.
even like what Maureen Ponderosa from goddamn Always Sunny who wanted to become a cat. It's not even that. It's a motherfucker just got a furry suit, a very realistic one, but a furry suit nonetheless. Yeah.
All right.
It goes
Well,
like $16,000.
Furry suit without a dick hole. Yeah.
all right. First of all, furries is not always sexual. Furries are just people trying to live their lives.
Nobody's judging them.
Yeah, but it's not always sexual.
I didn't
Like,
say it was.
You mentioned dick holes in a furry suit.
Sometimes you gotta fucking pee when you have a furry suit on. Like I don't know. Like yeah.
You're backtracking, Trey.
Grab my dick.
You're
Anyway.
no, you assumed that just because people are furries that means they
Look, if there's anybody in this podcast who's an ally to furries, it's me. Okay.
You don't know what we do.
What
I'm
gives you
an ally to
special claim?
furries and everybody in here combined.
Furry
I
tracker.
recognize them as one of the most important factions in the fight against anti-fascism.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I fuck with furries hard. Okay. Yeah. Don't try to besmirch my name. Get me canceled.
Cheese in my pockets, velvet up. Hey, bang, bang, hey, hey.
We just store all our surplus cheese in the vault. So like, yeah, yeah, bro. You know about
Now
the cheese
that we
vault?
definitely talked about.
Yeah, we've definitely talked about the cheese
cheese-
vault. I don't think Mano
what's the
has.
cheese
So
vault?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
So underneath Springfield, Missouri, there is a limestone vault that contains over 1 billion pounds of cheese made in the U.S.
Wait, what?
I'm not making
This
this
is
up.
real?
This is real.
Wait,
Google
Springfield
Springfield, Missouri.
cheese vault?
Yeah. Oh, I love seeing people learn about this for the first time. It's
You have to find if there's a
Wait,
burgeoning
hold on,
rap
I'm gonna
scene
see.
over there that you can find a reason to go visit.
You can tap into and see if they're talking about the cheese. Why does the
I'm
U.S.
gonna break
government
into
have
the cheese
1.4 billion pounds of cheese here? All right, I think I
A lot of
found it.
places named Ozark.
Wait, is
around
it just
there.
like?
yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Wow, there's so many like crazy headlines about this. Wait, so
Guess
why
you
did
can see
this-
everything.
how did this cheese thing even happen? I'm like reading right now, kind of, but
We just make too much cheese in this country.
Oh, is it like a New Deal thing where like the government pays farmers for the surplus?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's I actually think it might be like a Reagan thing. But that's where like government cheese comes from.
They should give all the cheese to the whales in an attempt to make peace.
Oh no, the whales are the least of our fucking problems now. Did y'all hear about the cocaine sharks?
Yep. We got cocaine sharks now.
yeah.
Yeah, this is why we got to legalize like all drugs, so we can keep the cocaine out of the sharks' jaws. Like if it were legal to transport cocaine to America, the number of shark attacks would fall dramatically. I'm like on my Matt Iglesias shit right now. I'm trying to wonk out, figure out all the like all the unintended consequences.
Okay, but wait, hang on a second. Let's think this out. What if we don't do that because people need to eat and we need to support the drug industry? But what if we weaponize the cocaine sharks to go on our side in the human versus whale wars that are coming up? And then we kind of like get...
Sorry, I don't have any information
What is
about
the human
that.
versus whale?
The humans are being attacked by the whales, and as a result of that, we need to fight back.
Oh yeah, orcas have been like fucking up. Like,
Oh, the orcas.
ships.
Right.
Yeah, Although, like, we're also thinking too small here. Like, you know, humans might not be able to take the aliens down on their own, but if we fucking get the sharks geeked up and enlist the help of the whales, I think we have a chance.
I like that. But then we have to kind of like convince the aliens to go to the bottom of the ocean, which could be tricky.
Well, we don't know if they're not aquatic, you know, like maybe they're just cruising around the galaxy in like aquariums.
Fucking aquariums. That'd be sick.
In which case, we'll need the sharks and the whales to sort of like, and dolphins to sort of like be like the officers in the Earth.
Do you think
Army.
if in that scenario there would be any like Earth people that would immediately switch sides and fight for the aliens?
I think you would, because you fucking hate whales.
No, but in this scenario, okay, I don't hate whales. I just said like I like humans.
No, you hate whales.
I just said I like humans more than I like whales. I don't think that's a controversial thing to say, that I like my own species. You guys tried to call me friggin' human Dr. Umar. Well, you said a worse one, but I'm going to say human Dr. Umar.
Human Dr. Umar.
Anyway.
He's speciesist.
No, I'm just, no. I don't.
Speciesist. That's a real thing.
Yeah, he's a speciesist.
Anyways, all right. Travis, Cardi, and Uzi's releases this year puts "Listen to the Kids" as a motto into question.
Do you think that's
something that is written on our run of show?
I don't know why I wrote it like that. Do you still think that's a good idea? Listen to the kids.
Who said?
I don't know what "Listen to the Kids" is.
Is that a motto? Whose motto is
I
that?
used to say it all the time. I feel like Complex in like 2013 to 15 was
Listen
built
to
around
the
the
kids,
motto,
bro.
"Listen to the kids." Virgil used to say it. Fucking, I'm sure Drake has even said it.
I mean, you still listen to the kids. It's just like the kids are having a rough time right now.
Just listen to like the kids who make good music, not like those kids. Those aren't even kids. How old is Cardi? I feel like Cardi's like older.
What kid should we listen to?
He's 38.
I love that trend a few years ago on Twitter. People just like saying that Rich the Kid was like 42. Like just random rappers. Like Nav is 48 or so. Like
that was when I was thinking like, yeah, Nav has an AARP card, and yeah,
Nav was around for the first Cool Herc party. Yeah. He gave Cool Herc the green light. It's just a stupid trend. I don't know where that came from, but anyways.
So what's
saying certain people are older than they actually are will always be funny. Yeah.
Who's a kid we should listen to then?
Well, in Drew's case, Yeat.
You should listen to Yeat just for like, I feel, cultural awareness. Like,
all right,
the way I would listen to, like, I don't know, I can't think of an opposite example.
Fish.
You ever listen to Bat?
Fish. I almost went to a Fish concert this week, actually. Someone is like trying to make me go to this Fish concert.
You should go to a Fish show. They're like fun. Like,
no, I almost went, but then I got King Cruel tickets, so I'm gonna go to that instead. And
Yeah,
Fish
that's
tickets were
fine.
$100.
From Mario?
That was crazy. I was like, I can't.
Oh
No, King Cruel.
yeah, from
Tomorrow.
Oh, from Donkey Kong.
and England.
Oh! I see what you're doing. Gotcha. No,
Wait,
Yeah,
actually,
dude.
King Cruel's voice coming out of King Cruel's face remains one of the funniest things in the world to me.
yes.
Crazy. I mean, that's why I still like want to see him. I think it's just like, I feel like I haven't really like been that passionate about his music in a while, but I just like want to see that man. Like, I want to see like that voice emanate from that redhead's like mouth.
Are you gonna be
That's some
sad?
craziness.
Are you gonna be sad if it turns out he has some sort of like box that he runs his voice through to make it sound like that?
Oh, he's not fibbing. He's definitely not fibbing.
Okay.
Like, I've seen videos and stuff.
Have you seen how much have you been able to see in the frame? I'm just saying.
Oh, I see.
Did you go to the Salem concert in the roller or in the bumper car thing?
Great question. No, but I was trying to go, and I actually even somebody hit me up being like, "Can I cover this for you guys?" And I was like, "Yes." And then he like did all the work of like getting in touch with. I don't know if you know, it was hosted by Pornhub, but like Pornhub's
I saw this
person, and she was like, "No, we unfortunately are like having barely any press here. However, we love Nobel's interviews."
Did they love Nobel's enough to at least let you interview one of the Salem dudes?
No, not enough.
That sucks.
Give it another 10 years, maybe, like when they're doing the next show.
I mean, I feel like I have never had the misfortune of interviewing Salem, but like it seems just like the worst experience, in a way that could really help a young writer mature by having to go through interviewing Salem.
That or Yeat. I want to interview Yeat because he seems like an absolute like non-person. Like, no, like this is definitely ruining my chances of interviewing Yeat, but like that dude, like I need to like know what's going on in here, because every interview he does, he's only done like 2 or 3 interviews. They're all just like he's like a robot. Like I don't know what goes on in here, and I feel like he needs somebody to like get on his level a little bit and just like
let's go.
In general, it's like really refreshing to hear that you are like putting shit on in New York that exists outside of like the shit that people are like always talking about, which is like Dime Square bullshit. And Salem Pornhub concerts.
Are you like self-sustaining off Nobels?
No. I'm like, that was a very blunt answer. No, I'm like trying to figure out sort of that shit, but I think for now I'm gonna go look for a job and like keep it going on the side for a bit.
Do you want to talk on record about like kind of the experience of trying to like make a money making media entity, or is that like not something you're interested in?
No, that's cool. It's important. I mean, like it's like, you know, might actually help me like figure my own shit out when I talk about it. So like, honestly, the main thing is that I feel like is really tough right now is like we are like in a place where we have like a pretty big following, but it's kind of dispersed amongst like mediums in a way. So like we have like a YouTube. YouTube's actually kind of not popping, but like we have a TikTok that people will sometimes like notice me or notice people from my like Nobels from. We have like the blog itself, like the Twitter account, like sometimes like people see that like first. So like it's a question of like how to like do we pursue like what's like, I'm not even sure what our like thing is for like the most people right now, like because like for a lot of kids like who fuck with us, it's like not even the articles, it's just like
the vibe.
We'll just be posted up we'll just be like recording things at events and like post. We'll be like under Elliot Wilson, we'll like be posting like some random video from like some show in like the middle of nowhere in like a rave or something, and it'll like go viral or something on some like TV, I don't know. But
and it's also, I would bet it's also like hard to, if you know you've got like a base that is making you go viral, but it's like teenagers, it's hard to be like, hey, why don't you give us $5 a month or whatever, when they're like,
yeah, it's not the same like Substack thing, right? It's like we could start doing, and I've been like, I have a little Patreon that's like basically just a tip jar. Like I don't really like, I'm trying to like figure out a better incentive thing, but like I'm not sure like what our appetite is for like paywalled like Nobel's articles, like if there even is one yet. So like that's what I'm trying to figure out right now. So yeah.
And then
I think like the shows, yeah. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, it seems like one of the reasons that people fuck with y'all is that like you are finding like new interesting things, which is sort of like opposed to the model of like, let's get a bunch of traffic and then sell ads against that traffic.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about becoming an agency? Just being like, we're an agency now. That's how a lot of people make money.
What is that like? What do you do as an agency?
You're an agency. Like
You just agent.
You like consult and like you tell, like, basically, like, I don't know, like fucking Skull Chewing Tobacco like pays you money to tell them what's cool so that they can figure out how to make like Skull appealing to Zoomers, like taking the fucking like dip cup challenge or whatever. I don't know what the dip cup challenge is yet, but you know what I mean? That's like basically you could charge somebody 20 grand for just saying dip cup challenge.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind for sure. I'm gonna take that exact phrase and just start saying it in like different label meetings.
Okay.
3 words. Diff cup challenge.
But labels have reached out.
No, but I haven't thought about it. That's maybe yeah.
But you don't want to go that way?
I'm just like, I don't know. Like I'm not sure yet. I'm not gonna lie. I think like the label stuff has been like very clearly in like a we fuck with your taste type of way, like almost some A&R shit. But like I don't know if I want to like do that because it seems pretty. I don't know. Some people like it, but I'm not the biggest fan of like being an A&R. So at least right now in my life. So yeah.
Is that just from like a critical purist standpoint where you can't critique something that you also worked on, or is it just not something that appeals to you?
I think the main thing is that it makes it harder for me to enjoy the music. Like, so maybe that is a critical purist standpoint. I'm not sure, but it's on a more fundamental level. It's like I don't even know. Like, I feel like I would have less like interesting things to say about music if I was an A&R.
I got one more question.
Sure.
Will you post Golf Core?
Like a review or a... what are you thinking? What are we talking?
Do you not know about Golf Core?
What's your book called? Is that your book?
How Golf Can Save Your Life. But I made a compilation of original music from notable names, such as Teen Days, DJ Burn One, Judge Beats, who has made beats for Young Thug, fucking other people, Bergsonist, other people as well that I'm forgetting. And y'all should fucking write about it.
That sounds kind of... You said DJ Burn One?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Burn One's my man.
That's like, and that's like a soundtrack to the book? Like while you're reading the book? How does that work?
So I just asked people to imagine that a genre called golfcore existed and then make golfcore songs. And it like...
That was only rules?
Yeah.
Wow.
And
that's kind of sick.
Do you play golf?
And like,
thank you.
How like, what was the most like surprising interpretation of that you received?
So the writer and singer Zachary Lopez and his wife Zora made like almost like if Sparks the band were goth song called Too Many Holes. And it's like a very languid song about a dying relationship that just but is described completely in golf terms.
Wow. That's wild.
Yeah.
It's out? I can go listen to this?
Yeah. It's at howgolfcansaveyourlife.bandcamp.com.
Yo. Okay. I'll
Here, I'm gonna send it to you in this chat, and then I'm gonna fucking DM you on Twitter the link.
Okay.
And then
I'm pretty curious. I'm not gonna lie. How golf can save your life?
Yeah.
If you're still listening, like and subscribe.
Yeah, I don't know why you would be, but
well, this has been Nersy. Thank you for listening. If you have listened this far, then that means you absolutely have to go to our Substack and subscribe. Like, listen, we look at the numbers. A lot of y'all motherfuckers are just listening and not subscribing.
Not even retweeting and sharing links, you know?
Yeah.
I see the social analytics too, and like,
listen, we see your IP addresses. I know where you live. Subscribe to the show.
Fucking pay us money, motherfuckers.
Or no, pledge us money. We're pre-revenue. Anyways, I've been Drew. Everyone else, including our guest, must say their name.
I've been Trey.
Slava.
John here.
Mano. No bells.
Yeah. Also, go to No Bells. Go to the No Bells show, and I actually this is a Nersey exclusive. We have been told that this year, at the end of the year, No Bells will be awarding their favorite music of the year, the Nobel Prize.
Hey.
It's happening.
Good night, everybody.
That's factual.
Yeah.
Yes.
And fuck Elliot Wilson.
a slice in the rough, a wedge